couple of years ago, I was having a conversation with someone and I told them that my day is my life. Now, what does this mean? I think that society has a very linear approach to our lives and to how we think of time. So it's age 0 to 80, 90, 100. You have obviously birth, education, career, family life, retirement, and death. And for the longest time, I just never thought of my life that way. I mostly think of my life in a circular or cyclical approach, which is in 24-hour cycles. So my day is my life. Now, I think I've always been aware of my mortality, maybe not in a morbid way, but it's just I've never assumed that I have tomorrow, literally like tomorrow, not tomorrow as in this distant future. So I've always aimed to work with today. So I have these 24 hours. So I look at this one day and I see how I can tap into the areas in my life that matter to me. I think of those areas like 3 major categories. You have my relationship with myself, which is where I work on myself and spend time with myself, growing in several ways. So whether it is mental, or it is physical, or it's my soul, my mind, basically all the categories of wellness that I talk about here. So that's where I would relate with myself. And then my relationship with others. So this is where all my relationships with my loved ones in all the forms would fall. And then lastly, my relationship to, the community, the extended, the global world, the earth. And this is mostly where career, academics, or just work, I guess, would go. And work in the sense that whatever value you add to whichever community you exist in. Think of my life, I guess, in those broad 3 categories. And with my 24-hour life, I see how I can fit each of these 3 areas into my day. Whether it's 15 minutes, it's 5 minutes, it's 1 hour, it's 3 hours. Obviously, priorities shift. Sometimes more hours will go into one thing than the other. But that's essentially how I look at things. When I hear that phrase, I think of adrenaline-filled activities like bungee jumping and traveling with, only a backpack, or roller coasters. I don't know, deep sea, like swimming with sharks. That's my picture of living, YOLO, you only live once approach. And I don't think I live like that. It's very far from it, more chilled, though I could incorporate more of that in my life probably. But yeah, so for me, it's just very simple, because I think at any given time, regardless of your age, so regardless of the linear timeline, you're focusing on one or all of these 3 areas. So I think the one main thing is I live in the present more than aspirationally. And I've seen it a lot, and I've probably done that to some extent, but I see people talk about, oh, I'll do it later, or when I'm 30 maybe, or when I'm 50 I'll finally X. Just putting things off because there is this conscious or subconscious assumption that that future exists, that is guaranteed. When I go by the assumption that I only have today, it makes it a lot harder for me to put things off. Of course, then I have to prioritize and decide what it is that must happen today, or needs to happen today, or is what I really want to happen today. I don't feel that I am limited by my present state in terms of what I can do. Of course, living aspirationally or just putting things off, delaying gratification has its pros, because then you learn patience, you learn how to put in the work over a long time before you get the rewards from it. But I feel like that delayed gratification idea has been abused so that we can think that it's not possible to like have a good day / life now. Like, it's only going to happen for you later, and this later just keeps being pushed and pushed and maybe never comes. I think another thing that this mindset has done for me is it's helped me to set better goals. Now, if you've read my post on my fitness journey, my very first one, I did an exercise where I named the fittest version of myself Fit Sharon, and then there was Present Sharon. So I listed out all the attributes of Fit Sharon, and those became my goals, because whatever Fit Sharon does is what I'm working towards so that I can be closer to her. So I think about my life essentially in that model for everything. So I ask myself, what would my ideal day look like? Because my day is my life. So what would my ideal day look like? And I've asked myself that question a couple of times over the years, and I list it out, like wake up at this time, do this, do that, work on that, talk to so and so, like down to by the time I'm going to sleep. And so when I list that out, I'll write what my current days look like, and wherever they don't match up, I see how to bridge that gap. It's a very maybe simplistic approach, but it's really brought all these big, potentially unachievable, unattainable goals down to such realistic possibilities for me, because then it's not just like an arbitrary goal. It's how can that project, how can that plan be broken down into tasks that can actually be factored into my day-to-day. I think another upside to this mindset is that I appreciate the mundane. I don't know what makes our life extraordinary, but I think gratitude plays a major factor. And when I hear about gratitude all the time, I'm like, y'all calm down. Calm down with this gratitude thing. But it's really worked for me, because sometimes I'll feel like, okay, this day didn't go as well as I would have liked. Maybe I didn't do everything I would have wanted to do, talk to the people I wanted to talk to, and then I'll open my journal and I'll just list out what I did that day. I list out everything that happened to me and through me that day, and every time I've done that, I've experienced such a sense of gratitude and pride that because I experienced and I did more than I thought. And more often than not, I have touched each of those 3 areas in one way or another, whether it's small or it's big. And now I feel like I need to add a caveat to this point, because there is a line between appreciating the mundane and being complacent and fearful. I go back and forth about that. Like, what am I contented? Am I is it contented? Am I like satisfied with the current trajectory of my life, or how my day is, or am I just staying in my comfort zone because I'm afraid of pushing, trying new things, stepping out of my comfort zone? So I think that one is, you have to balance between the two. It's a delicate approach you have to have. And I don't know, I think that comes from being self-aware and knowing when it is you're actually satisfied and when it is you're like telling yourself you are, so that you don't have to tackle your fear of change, of failure, and even sometimes of success. And actually I learned about the fear of success from my friend, maybe she will be watching, hello. It's called the Jonah complex, I think. So some people are actually afraid of success, so whatever your fears are. The fourth pro, or the upside to this mindset, is I make a lot of decisions that are good for my future self. Now since in my mind future me and present me are not that different or not that far off, then the things I do today help both me and future me. Another thing about this is like I found that time matters a lot to me, and I mean time that is potentially insignificant, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Like it seems like a small time, but when you have 24 hours to work with, it's a lot of time. Those 15 minutes for me like is a lot of time. 25 minutes even more. Like that's why I really love the Pomodoro method, because like you just set a 25-minute timer and you'll be blown away by how much you can accomplish in that time. So time really matters a lot to me. And of course, again, there has to be a balance there that I don't always have with being, you know, too rigid with my days or with my schedule. So again, with all these things, there's a balance to it. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing about this mindset, and it could be a positive thing or a negative thing, in the time of Miss Rona, I have to be consistent. When I think about my life as days, it's cyclical, and it means that I have to be consistent. And you guys, I'm over it, okay? Like, I'm just like, when am I going to just like work out today? Or work out for like 8 weeks, and then at least the gains can be held together for like 16 weeks. A fair trade, you know. In all honesty, consistency is so hard, but in my model of my approach to life, it's like the only way I can get things done. Because realistically, for the unforeseeable future, I will probably not have very huge free pockets of time for me to just do whatever it is I want. And so I have to work with the 5 minutes here and the 10 minutes there and the 15 minutes everywhere. So that's about it. I just thought I would share this, and I'm very curious like how you think about your life, how you set goals, what you feel about time. You know, is time just a construct? I don't know. Yeah, but I just wanted to chat with you guys, have some tea, and tell you about how I think a little bit. Okay, so if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. I'd also really appreciate if you subscribed and shared this video with your friends and comment, because I really do like engaging with you guys, and when you engage with me, it lets YouTube know that you're liking what you're seeing. So please let's chat. Thank you so much for watching this video. Always remember that your hair is your crown and your body is a temple. Embrace it, love it, and take care of it. Bye.